Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Relatively Gaming Podcast. My name is Bret, aka Enigma911, and today I'm joined by my lovely co-host, TJ, aka Turn-Based TJ. TJ, how's it going today?
Oh, it's going fantastic. I hope it's going good for you.
Yeah, can't complain. As a recording, it's a long weekend, so that's nice. Not to have the. I mean, we don't always record on Sundays, but like the Sunday blues of like, shit, we're going back to going back to work tomorrow. So that was nice. And I don't know. I feel like personally, once you're out of school, like those weekends kind of sneak up on you too. If you have the pleasure of, your workplace obviously allows those holidays or whatever. Of like, oh yeah, I got Monday off, I got Friday off, whatever it is. So it's nice there. Overall, it's good. If you are catching this podcast for the first time, what do we do here at Relatively Gaming? Well, first off, probably picked up on it, we relatively talking about gaming stuff, talk about what we're playing, future releases that we're looking forward to, and then each week we'll talk some news, as well as kind of share a hobby and interest with our co-host to educate. Always sounds weird, but educate and let them know what the hell is going on in that hobby, and maybe you can pick up on something too. But before we dive into it, I just did want to say thank you guys for checking out the first 3 episodes so far and giving a chance on the podcast here. I know, new podcasts are always an adventure to dive into, and then with my audio issues, yeah, these last few episodes, I just do appreciate you guys subbing, enjoying the content, hopefully. If you guys have any feedback, let us know in the comments section down below. We'd really appreciate it. But just, yeah, thanks for sticking with us and giving this a shot. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. So TJ, let's jump into the first topic. Let's talk about what we have been playing. Sir, what have you been playing since our last episode?
Sure. Well, because of my predicament, I've had a lot of time on my hands, so I feel like I've been playing a charcuterie board
Ooh,
of video games, just a menagerie of different things. Um, the first one I want to talk about might bore you a little bit, but it's Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader.
okay.
Uh, that is that CRPG, and I've been really enjoying it. I'm 85 hours in, and
Nice.
I'm only halfway through the game. It's one playthrough. It is a massive, massive game. It's pretty incredible. But the thing I love about it the most is the combat. I think I talked to you about this on your Wait What podcast, actually.
Mm,
But um, over Baldur's Gate, I love that when you enter a combat arena, you get a second to rearrange your characters.
mm,
So my main character is a sniper. So I can always put my sniper in the back and put my melee characters in the front and kind of screen the sniper. Whereas in Baldur's Gate 3, you step into a combat arena and it starts right there. Like just
right.
it is what it is. If you have your wizard is in the front who's like your sniper in the game, then you are just screwed. You're a SOL
Mm-hmm.
because he's gonna get dinged. So I like that you can rearrange it. I also like that it's on a grid. I love my grid-based combat. So um, big fan of the combat. Been really enjoying it. Everything else around the game is very low budget, but like I said, there's some actions. Like there was one thing that played out where just like a book opens up, and then you read what happens to your character because they couldn't animate it, basically.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Especially in the 120-hour campaign or whatever it's going to end up being for my first run. The crazy thing is, I want to go through a second time because I want to play as a different character. So
That's good.
that's the craziest part. So I've been playing a lot of that. I've dipped my toes into Resident Evil 8. I've started that a little
Mm,
bit.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is good. I'm still in the castle section, so I'm not like super far into the
Mm-hmm.
game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been pretty great. You got the
Good.
vampire Dami Mommy.
Hell yeah.
Uh, um, I will say a couple of things. It does remind me a lot of Resident Evil 4. It
Okay.
definitely took inspiration with the merchant
Yes.
and that opening scene in the village where all the Lycan come in and you have to just survive for a certain time limit.
Oh god, yeah, that was the biggest like what the fuck? What do I do?
Yeah, I ran out of ammunition because I didn't know if it was going to be timed like Resident Evil 4 with the bell or
Sure.
if I actually had to fight everybody. Um, until the big guy came with the big hammer. And then I was like, okay, I'm obviously not gonna be able to kill all these guys. I've just got to run. Um, so that was fun. Uh, very Resident Evil 4, but also there's a lot of scripted segments, and I don't know how I feel about that so far.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that pull you out of the gameplay. and like you're on like a, you have to do a certain action. You have to run away from a vampire, or you have to do this, which I understand. You can't really kill vampires like you can zombies. Um, but I do miss a little bit of the freedom from Resident Evil 4 or Resident Evil 2, where you're just kind of in the game world. So I don't know if that's just the beginning of the game, or if that gets worse or better, but those are my thoughts on Resident Evil 8 so far. I don't know, when you were playing it, did you experience a lot of the cutscene type stuff, or?
Um, See, I think I understand what you're saying with the scripted stuff. I definitely remember like certain jump scares like are very situational, like you did X, oh, then cause effect type thing. Um, is it with just the castle? Is it like the Lady Dimitrescu, Lady D? Is it just her following you around like Mr. X? Is that the hiccup that you're facing, or is it something else?
No, it's like I don't even know how to describe it. Like you'll walk into a room and then a scripted segment will take place. And you really have no choice but to just follow the scripted segment.
Hmm.
Um, that happens a little bit in Resident Evil 4, don't get me wrong. But it only happens, as far as I can tell, like 4 times.
Okay.
And I feel like I've already exceeded that in Resident Evil 8 by a large mile. But
Hmm.
again, it's the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's just the beginning of the game, or if it's the
Yeah.
whole game or not.
It's hard to remember. I mean, I played it at launch, so oh boy, definitely a few years ago at this point, and I only played it the one time through. I don't think I noticed it as much, but hearing you talk about it, like most Resident Evil, well, maybe not most Resident Evil games. This one in particular, you could put in sections. Like RE7, you could put this in sections, like the swamp house, the bug area, the trap room, the boat. Like you can section it off that way. And I feel like Resident
Right.
Evil 8 is the same, where you have the castle, you have section A, section B, section C. Um, I think your next section, section A, you might have a similar experience from what I recall of it, and I'm being very vague here. Hopefully, if people who are listening and watching have played it, they're like, "Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about." Like, I feel like that one is very planned, but that is in terms of like what they're presenting in that area and how they want you to feel. In the back half of the game, I don't recall there being as many of the planned segments or those segments that'll take you out of it, if that makes sense. So,
Okay.
yeah, it just might be this front half um, that will be more of that for you. Hopefully, it can open up later. Um, but I remember personally when I was playing it, no, I don't feel that got in the way. I do agree it is definitely more like RE4. They have that nice blend and mixture of what they brought to the table in 7 and the tenseness, especially with the first person. But yeah, it's obviously way more action orientated than 7 was, where 7 you were definitely panicking a little bit more about weaponry and what was around each corner. I had a little bit more freedom of like, all right, I could blast away. In 8. Well, still struggles with ammo. I was definitely not as concerned, I guess you could say.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm glad to hear that that it opens up a little bit, and maybe that's just my little issue with it. But I have been enjoying the game so far. It is really cool. I love the setting, and I love all the characters and stuff. So I'm excited to keep playing that through September and into October and stuff. I'm gonna try and stretch it out a little bit as my horror game.
Okay, all right.
um, I've also been playing Borderlands 4. No, I wish. I've been playing Borderlands 3.
Almost.
Almost there. I've been playing Borderlands 3 a lot in preparation for Borderlands 4.
Nice.
Just playing through the DLC again. Um, Playing through Love, Guns, and Tentacles right now, which is my favorite DLC of all time in the Borderlands universe. It's where Hammerlock gets married. I don't know if you ever got that far.
I didn't play any of the DLCs, but I do know, like, briefly through their cover art of, like, what story they were going to tell. So I do remember that one vividly.
Yeah, yeah. So he gets married on an eldritch planet with like HP Lovecraft type style monsters and stuff and cult members and stuff, and it is right up my alley. It's super awesome. So
Nice.
I've been enjoying going back through and playing with that with Zane, because Zane I actually like more than Moe's because you get the two action skills
Mhm.
at a time instead of just pulling down the bear all the time.
Nice.
So what about yourself? What have you been playing lately?
Okay, well, I see my memory's ass, as everybody will probably pick up as these episodes go along. I can't remember if we talked about Saints Row the Third in the previous episodes. I feel like we have to have had.
We
Um,
did, yeah.
okay, so I've been replaying that, just trying to go for platinum. I don't know. I'm not obsessed, but I do enjoy trophy hunting and getting the platinums on the PlayStation side of things. Ugh. It's taking 5 ever, and I'm like, oh, I should not have taken this long. So I've been slowly chipping away at that. It's a good time, but it's to turn your brain off, put some YouTube video on, listen to a podcast while you're doing it. It's fine, but it's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, oh, that's not that hard, and it just takes up way more time than you anticipated. Like, I've barely done the story. I've been doing all the side quests and stuff, and I've hit that wall where one of the trophies is complete all the challenges. So, like, kill so many gang specialists, do surf in the car, do windshield crash distance, just generic gameplay things. Some of them I've cleared up too much of the gang activity around the world, and you're like, oh, I need X character to kill or interaction to deal with. Like, you need those enemy characters, and so it just makes it a little bit more difficult there. I kind of shot myself in the foot. But I've been playing that. Outside of that, I haven't played too much, but there was one I think I talked about last week that I wanted to talk about here, and I got a chance to play it for about an hour last night. Maybe even not that much, but Sword of the Sea. It's a new indie
Okay.
game that came out. It's the developers who made Journey. Um, and this game is absolutely stunning and beautiful in terms of its artwork. I haven't picked up on much of a story just yet, and I feel like similar to Journey, that was kind of the same. You were just kind of thrown into that world. I don't know. Do you have any experience with Journey at all?
No, I never played Journey, but I have watched some people play it on Twitch before.
Okay. Well, Journey's a beautiful game where you're just a wanderer, just a traveler, kind of floating around these big open areas, having a journey. And you don't pick up on like what you've really accomplished and gone through until you reach the end. I'm going to kind of give a little spoiler alert here. I still recommend the game to everybody, so it's not going to take away from it. But along your playthrough, you can run into other travelers who are just kind of in the world doing things, floating around. And at the end, you realize that those are actually other players that are going through the same journey that you're going through. And towards the end, there's a very heartbreaking moment where you could be traveling with somebody and then you'll lose them. And you're like, where'd they go? Are they okay? Like, you just get so concerned about your companion that you met maybe 10 minutes ago. But I never realized that was a thing. And granted, I played this game late. Like, I was very late to the party. But it will tell you at the end, like, who you traveled with or who you ran into along your path. And realizing, like, oh, that was another person is just like, has that moment of like, wow, that was incredible. So I'm curious to see where this game goes. I don't think it's going to have that interactability. That's not even a word. That crossover with other players. But it's similar in the fact of your main character has a sword and they use it as like a surfboard, snowboard, and you're just
Oh,
surfing around, on these tundras of sand, figuring out different puzzles to continue on this adventure. And as you solve different puzzles, the sand will become like oceans, and there'll be fish that are diving around and swimming around and whatnot. So I don't know
oh
if you're
wow.
like restoring the land from this desert and abyss to the beautiful oceans or whatever. I don't know if that's the goal here. It seems like overall the game's a shorter experience. It's like 3 to 4 hours. Um, so you could beat it in one sitting, depending on obviously how much you are exploring. And it seems like there's a lot of a lot of things you can do. If you want to beeline it, you certainly can. Like I did kind of scour through the trophies real quick. Like one of them is beat it in 2 hours, so you can what's golden path it. You just bing 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 if you wanted to.
Hmm.
But yeah, I've been really enjoying it. Apparently there's like 6 sections. I made it only through the first one last night, and there was a little tease at someone following us or like keeping a track on us. So I'm curious what that is going to entail, if it's going to be an encounter of some kind or what story is going to unfold there. But yeah, been enjoying my time diving into that. It's free if you have PlayStation Plus Extra. So that was a big reason I delved into it. I was just like, oh yeah, why not?
Wow. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, been enjoying that. And speaking of PlayStation Extra, I didn't get a chance to play it, but it came out a while ago. It's Prince of Persia. I think it's the Rogue Prince of Persia is the title. But hearing others who have played it through PlayStation Extra now that it's free and available through that service, it's another roguelike, and I'm like, ooh, I'm ready to dive into that and try that out. So pretty much that's been it that I've been playing this week. I missed a lot of streams, so I didn't dive into Pokemon anymore or jump into a new game. But so far, that is it that I hit this week. We'll see if the remainder of the holiday weekend I'll dive into some more stuff that we can talk about next week.
Yeah, I didn't know if that Prince of Persia had a roguelike.
Yeah, I think it was a different studio. Once again, we have the power of the internet at the palm of our hands. Hold on. Go. Actually, you go. I cut you off.
Oh no, you're fine. Yeah, I just didn't know there was a roguelike. And also, did you play the 2D Prince of Persia game that was sort of like a Metroidvania, I believe?
You are correct with Metroidvania. No, this would be personally my first experience playing a Prince of Persia.
Okay, I used to play the old 3D games on the GameCube, but those are nothing like what the series is now.
Sure. So it seems like this was developed by a different studio. It's still published by Ubisoft, but it's developed by Evil Empire. So I know Prince of Persia has had a few different titles recently. Maybe it was just two. Maybe it was this and one other. But yeah, this seems to be a little bit different in gameplay.
Okay, awesome.
So yeah, all right. Well, that's it for what we've been playing. So let's move on over to the news. TJ, do you want to go first with your news?
Yes, only because I'm super hyped. On my first piece of news here, um, do you know who Alex Garland is?
No.
Okay, he wrote 28 Days Later. I don't
Oh,
know if you've
okay.
seen that movie.
No.
Great movie. Um,
Have I seen a horror movie? No.
no. Okay, 28 Days Later is incredible. He also wrote and directed Ex Machina. He wrote and directed Civil War that just came out. He wrote and directed Annihilation. So he's mostly a writer, but he has been directing more lately. I don't really like Annihilation's directing style specifically. I thought the writing was fine, but the direction was kind of all over the place.
Okay.
Cinematography was good, but the direction, like the pacing was off, the editing. Anyway, Alex Garland, he's like a movie legend at this point. He loves Elden Ring. He's beaten it 6 times, and so he wrote a spec script, which is a script that a studio does not hire you to write. It means you just write it on your own free time for
Sure.
free. So he wrote a spec script that's 160 pages with 40 pages of just imagery tacked onto it
Mm-hmm.
for cinematography. And he brought it up to the A24 executives,
Hmm.
and they said, "Fuck yeah, you can make that movie." Literally, that's a quote. Um, and then he flew to Japan and talked with Miyazaki and played Elden Ring with Miyazaki. Um, and Miyazaki has approved the film as well. So
Hmm.
now, according to the Hollywood Reporter, which is like legit movie news, Alex Garland is making an Elden Ring movie.
Hmm.
And that makes me so excited because even though I didn't like the direction of Annihilation, the cinematography was perfect. Like the way he shot all the weird cosmic goo and shit in that movie would be perfect for Elden Ring because I know you've only played a little bit of Elden Ring,
Yep.
but even you know that like the tree's always in the background
Yep.
or like you can always see like the big castle looming over or something like that. Like it's really cinematic in its framing of things. So I feel like it's gonna be great. I'm so excited for this movie. I can't wait for it to come out.
Yeah, that's quite the project. I'm really glad, like, because I feel like this has been a rumor for a while, and I don't know if it's just like fan rumors of like, oh, that'd be cool if such and such made a movie in general.
Yeah,
I feel like this is, whether it's Elden Ring or any of the Souls, like that's a big ask. Just because a lot of the story context, obviously you're running into a lot of enemies, but a lot of the story is kind of buried in the text, at least from what I've heard. Like the items you pick up and reading the things and all that. So it's like,
yes.
once again, like you said, the little I know of Elden Ring, that's a huge task. But I'm glad like somebody who has played it is making it. And I know it's that weird gray area. Do you want people who know the source material to make stuff, or do you want a fresh take, I guess? And I mean, there's plenty of examples, especially in the video game world. Like Last of Us obviously has done very well. Granted, you had the lead writer, or whatever Neil Druckmann's title is, you had him really involved in the first two seasons. He's dipping out for the third, so does that raise some questions? Mortal Kombat, we've had many video game adaptations, so it's weird. Even comic adaptations, if you want to run that into things too.
Fallout's
So
a good example too, where it's very true to the source material, down to the way everything looks. Like the power armor looks just like the video games.
right,
Like everything looks just like the vault suit. Everything looks just like the video games. And so, they didn't have like the lead writer of Fallout involved with that, but they just like
sure.
had a reverence for the series. So I'm hoping that's kind of the
Hmm.
vibe we get there.
Yeah, as long as it's treated with respect, which it sounds like this guy Alex definitely obviously has a lot of respect and excitement for it, then that, as a very distant fan, I'm like, yeah, that sounds really cool, and not just like, oh yeah, we're gonna try and make money off this thing, and then you make it. Shout out to you,
Yeah.
Doom and Dwayne.
Oh gosh, I've never even seen that movie because I
Yeah, you
refuse
don't
to.
need
Yeah.
to. The ending bit where he goes first person is probably the only good part of it. And even then, it's like, nah.
So yeah, I love Elden Ring and I like Alex Garland. Well, I love his writing.
Sure.
Like 28 Days Later is written very well, so I have high hopes that this will be a good project.
Good.
But speaking of movies and video games, we have the opposite. Instead of turning a video game into a movie, we're turning a movie into a video game.
Oh,
With
okay.
this has already been announced, so you may have already heard of this, but people finally got their hands on with it with Gamescom. Um, have you heard that Saber Interactive is making a Hellraiser video game?
Oh, I think I saw this in passing. Maybe.
Yeah, they're making a Hellraiser video game, and people got their hands on it, and they were like, "Woof! Is this gonna
Uh
be
oh.
M rated or is this gonna be A rated? Because
Oh.
it's so intense." They even had barf bags
Huh.
at the booth in case some of the things were too gross for you to throw up.
Interesting.
Um, because Hellraiser is that intense of a series. There's torture and sex and violence and BDSM and weird shit.
Hmm.
The opening of the game, from what I can tell, or from what the people who played it can tell, is that it's a couple having sex, just full frontal having sex, and then they're doing BDSM stuff, and they have I don't know. Do you know much about Hellraiser at all?
No, he's got pins in his head. That's the extent of my knowledge.
Okay, that's just one of the Cenobites, but there's like a magic puzzle box, like a cube. And if you play with the puzzle box too much and you solve the puzzle, then you open this realm into hell.
Oh,
So they're having sex and they or heaven depending on your definition. But they're she's playing with the puzzle box and she accidentally opens it and she gets sucked into the realm of Pinhead and all the Cenobites, like the teeth chattery guy and stuff. And so he has to go in and save her. But from what people who played it said, they said it plays kind of like Resident Evil 8 actually, mixed with oh gosh, I can't remember what they said. Condemned.
okay.
So very intense. I liked it because they're making a Halloween video game,
Yes.
just like they made a Friday the 13th video game and all this stuff. And that's like always asymmetrical multiplayer.
Right.
But this seems like they're actually taking their time to craft a survival horror game, which is one of my favorite subgenres. So I'll be excited to see what they can do with that. Excuse me.
You're good. Yeah, that was going to be my question if it was going to be the asymmetrical, if it was just a single player. But obviously, from your description, it seems like it's the single player stuff. I know they're making the Halloween one because Friday the 13th they lost the rights to it. I don't know if it's the same studio, but I know why. That's why Friday the 13th ended, because they're like they don't have the rights anymore to keep pushing it, making it, all that jazz.
Don't get me
Interesting.
wrong, I'll still be excited to play a Halloween game, but I'm more excited for this game, even though I like Hellraiser less, just because it is going to be that single player
Hmm.
survival horror experience. You'll be crafting ammo and
Mm,
sneaking around and all that kind of stuff.
sure. I mean, I don't want to limit people's artistry, but yeah, maybe they gotta adjust some things if they want to sell that a little bit more. I guess I don't know. Interesting. I probably will never touch it, but cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like yeah, I saw a video clip of like there's a dude, like not to be too graphic, but he's like cut in half and
Hmm.
like all of his ribs are open and you have to like reach into his body to pull a knife out so that you can get a knife to
Okay.
fight people and it's stuff like that where it's like it's super gross and weird. So
Yeah, I feel like other games have done that though, or similar aspects. Like, just in terms of reaching into somebody. What's the operation table one? The morgue thing came out maybe a year or two ago.
gosh, I can't think of that game. Yeah. I know what you're talking about though.
Okay. Yeah. Oh.
But I feel like if Evil Within can pass with an M rating, hopefully this should too. They
Okay.
said they're going to try and push the envelope though, that Saber Interactive did. So
Hmm. That makes sense. All right. Is that all you got for this week?
yeah, what about yourself? What kind of news you got to the table today?
All right, I got one news piece and then just two plugs, I guess. Sticking on the movie front, which is what I thought you were going towards, and then you were going to steal my news, but you did not. Mortal Kombat 2 got delayed. It was supposed to come out in October 2025. I think it is now pushed to next year, so that is a big bummer. We had the trailer come out not too long ago, and I was like, yes, this looks good. You know, we got Johnny Cage in it now. We got Noob Saibot in there being shown. Shao Kahn being in there, even though that helmet looked a little wonky in the still images, doesn't look bad. I think Sindel's in there. Katana makes her appearance. I know the first Mortal Kombat movie, mixed reactions. People were kind of up and down on Cole, but overall, I enjoyed my experience with it. So I was like, ooh, okay, cool. They're continuing with it. We're not doing the Power Rangers route where people liked it and then we never got a sequel and we probably never will get a sequel. And we were like, all right, we're invested. We're going to keep going with this. So, but yeah, delayed. I'm not sure why. I haven't looked too into it, but just a little bit of a bummer news there.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
gonna ask how you felt about them. You said you enjoyed it a lot,
yeah,
or enjoyed it enough. I was more of the mixed feelings. I didn't like Cole,
that's fair.
but I did like the Sub-Zero and Scorpion stuff. That was
Yes.
really cool. That was
Mm-hmm.
very sick. So I hope they do more of that, which was like kind of closer to the source material stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Those two were good. Kano was fantastic in his actor. In terms of the rest, I get it. It was a little weird of like, all right, we're gathering for the tournament, or we hop in this magical safe portal area, and like, and like some people were jobbers. I mean, people were jobbers in the other Annihilation and the OG Mortal Kombat movies, and it was like, oh, okay, well that sucks, but so yeah, I think I just enjoyed it overall a little bit more. Cole grew on me. He's not my most favorite, but I enjoyed the groundwork that they laid out. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see where they go from here. And it seems like they're going more source material, like you said, or at least more focused. So yeah, just looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Quick shout outs. As we're recording this weekend is PAX West. So if you guys, we talked about PAX East a few weeks ago. Just keep an eye out for PAX West coverage over on the YouTube side of things from content creators if you want to check out that convention at all. Very jealous. Apparently, they had Resident Evil 9 available on the show floor to be played.
Oh,
So
wow.
people have been playing Requiem. So that's cool. Shout out to Jacob McCourt doing another PAX trivia. I think the VOD is available somewhere on the PAX side of things, but keep an eye out on YouTube. I'll definitely be watching when that drops. And then last but not least, we like indie games here. So I just want to give a shout out to the 6-1 Indie Showcase that's coming up September 18th. So if you guys like indie games, our friends over at 6-1 Indie are hosting their own showcase. This is like, ooh, these guys never stop. So this is probably like their 7th or 8th showcase at this point. So they know what the fuck they're doing. But you'll be seeing a lot of updates and a lot of new titles from smaller indie devs over there. So go check them out on socials and YouTube at 6-1 Indie. And once again, that showcase is going to be coming up on September 18th. Selfish plug, we'll be doing a delayed, well, I'll be doing a delayed day of live react. So if you want to live react and watch it with us, twitch.tv/Enigma9011. We'll be doing that on the 18th. Just want to give those guys their props and yeah, see if we can help give them a few more views. All right, TJ, it's time. It's time for me to teach you some things. We've teased it. Wrestling is probably going to be a big topic of discussion here. Now, I was trying to figure out what way I want to go with this because, you know, for those of you guys who don't know wrestling or aren't fans of wrestling or whatever you want to call it, wrestling, a lot of avenues we could take here. So, TJ, I'm going to throw it on you, and that will determine the course of action we're going to take. Sure. As a non-wrestling fan, to any extent to my knowledge, what would you like to know about professional wrestling?
Oh gosh. That is hard. I guess like how long the storylines are and how that kind of works.
Okay. All right, let's get the encyclopedia out. All right, we're going to start with just pro wrestling in general then, I guess, as a discussion. So wrestling has been going on for a long time. And I know when you bring it up to people, especially people who aren't fans, who aren't, you know, in the know, usually when you say pro wrestling, the default is WWE. If you even know a company standpoint, and maybe like Hulk Hogan is the name that you're going to go to. In 2025, WWE is still killing it. They're still going to be probably your number one American promotion, but there are many other promotions alongside of them. You have a number 2 promotion right now, which is AEW. It's like 5 or 6 years old. They're crushing it. They're doing great work there. You have TNA, Total Nonstop Action, or Impact as they were previously known. They've been around for 20 plus years. You have a lot of American indies from GCW to OVW to, oh God, Defy. No, Defy's British. I don't know. There's a lot of indies out there that you check out. And then, as I alluded to, Britain has their whole scene out there. Not as popular as it once was. Maybe we'll get into that someday. But they got wrestling out there. Japan is another big spot for professional wrestling. You have New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is like one of their biggest ones. You have Pro Wrestling Noah. You have Stardom, which is an all-women's promotion. I think those are probably your biggest regions. There's wrestling everywhere, but those are your big ones. And man, there is a lot of incredible talent out there. And I feel like pro wrestling can fit any niche that you're really looking for. If you're looking for actual grappling and like really hard-hitting action, there's that for you. If you're looking for goofy characters that make you laugh, make you feel things, there's wrestling for that. You want to see a guy wrestle a blow-up doll for whatever reason, there's wrestling for that. You want to see violence and weapons and blood, there's death matches and wrestling for you in that. And I think that's what a lot of people who aren't fans of wrestling don't realize. It's not just men and women in, you know, a lot less clothing than maybe the average person should be wearing. Fake fighting. And that's the big word that's like red flag here. Yes, it is fake in the fact that it is predetermined, like your TV, like your movies, like your books. And that's where the big hang up is like, oh, why do you watch professional wrestling? It's all fake. Yeah, but so is every other piece of media that you do enjoy. And I think it's just finding what maybe clicks with you. Like, I don't think people give it a fair chance. I've had a
Sure.
few people who I've like shown it, and they'll catch on. And it's just a matter of like, what are you looking for? And I think characters are the biggest thing that you can latch onto. And you were asking about stories. Like, if you're looking for stories, they're out there. Like, there's short-term stories that can take like 4 weeks. So you build. You get to a pay-per-view or a premium live event, whatever, depending on the company and their verbiage. And that's like your blow-off. That's your big payoff for the program that they've been putting together, whether it's through promos, whether it's through matches, whatever it is during those 4 weeks, payoff. That's like your short term. You can have stories that go 3 months. You can have stories that go 6 months. You can have stories that call back like, oh, we fought 5 years ago and then go back at it, brother, whatever it is. Like, there's these long-term stories that characters can have throughout their wrestling career and callbacks and whatnot. And it's something that is really rewarding, especially if you've been invested for so long, to see these callbacks and references to people. Like, I'll shout out something with AEW right now that it's a funny story, like it's comedic in its value, but people who have been vested in these characters, it's like, oh shit, I remember when they did this. I remember when they referenced that. So there's 2 characters in AEW right now. They're called the Young Bucks. They're brothers. It's a brother tag team. And their story, they've been wrestling on the independents for most of their careers. When AEW came along, they were like part of the initial investment, and they like launched this company with the help of other wrestlers and then a big billionaire like financing it. And recently, they've always been EVPs, like vice presidents. I don't remember what the E stands for. So they were like involved, in charge, kinda, and then they played it up on camera where they were big bads because, oh, we determine things, we pick who, gets this pay, yada, 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 whatever. So in a match, they put that status on the line and they lost. So they're no longer like in charge or this EVP title. And since that's been happening, production, wrestlers, they've all been messing with them. So like, production doesn't give their appropriate music or doesn't give them the pyro that they used to have. So they're all like pissed off and whatnot. And recently they had an event where it was a more violent match, and they had asked one of the backstage people, like, put your most violent weapon in this bag for us and prep it for us in the match. And they think it's going to be thumbtacks. So they're making a big scene out of it. I got this bag. It's going to be violent, yada, yada, yada. And they dump it out, and it's gummy bears. And this was like a callback to something they did on the indies like years and years ago of like, what is this? This isn't what it's supposed to be. So it's, I don't know. Pro wrestling is so interesting because there's such a variety out there that I think everybody can kind of latch on to something. Like I said, whether it's the violent matches you want to see, something really technical, or just fun characters. I think if everybody gives it a try and looks around, I think there's something you can latch onto. And it's silly and it's funny of like what can really grab you and be like, yeah, I'm invested in this character for any specific reason. Like personally, I've fallen in and out of wrestling a few times growing up. And we'll probably talk about it at some time, but there's been things I'm like, oh yeah, I'm fully back in because of X, Y, Z. And it's just fun to hear wrestling fans' experience of like, what got you in? Who are your favorite characters? And just like, you can learn a lot from them. and that shared experience and like what they're going through as well on their own. It's just like, yeah, that's cool that you like it because of this. It's not everybody's the same. It's a wide array of fandom out there, and it's cool.
Yeah. So what would you classify the WWE as then?
In terms of like their presentation.
Oh, we froze.
Frozen in time. Frozen in time.
Okay, we're unfrozen.
Okay, hi. So, and for the WWE, do you mean like in terms of a presentation, or what do you mean?
Well, you said there's a wide variety. There's like the like the intense violence, action,
Okay,
or like
gotcha.
the comedic storylines. Like, what would you say the WWE does the best? What it excels at?
Oof. Okay. So WWE, because it is the number one number one promotion, just from a monetary standpoint and an audience standpoint, they are definitely more family friendly. They are going to push the lines here and there, and they're going to swear. They may have more violent matches here and there. It's definitely not the extent of like the death matches. Like death matches in indies, like they use like light tubes, they use like barbed wire tables, like glass, like they're going insane, and I don't know how much of it is gimmicked, is a big word that we're going to use in wrestling, worked, to keep people safe. I'm sure they have to in some ways, but I don't know the extent of it. And that's part of the fun too. Like you get these looks behind the curtain, but it's like that suspension of disbelief of like, oh shit, you just really hit somebody with this. So WWE, I mentioned like wrestling in whole has a variety. WWE is going to lean more towards that PG, but I feel like they also are a big enough company where they do a wide variety of stuff. You're going to have your more serious wrestlers, like Cody Rhodes is your world champion now. John Cena is doing his retirement tour, probably another well-known name. Like they're going to do more serious storylines. They're not going to be bloodied up all the time. There will be hints here and there where they'll do a more violent match just to make it apparent to the audience, like this is more serious in tone and there's a lot of stakes here. So I would put wrestlers like them are on the more serious side. And then you'll get more comedic wrestlers. Like there is an individual named R-Truth. He's been around. He's been wrestling for, since the 90s. And this man is ageless. But like he is like the king of comedy in terms of WWE. He has an imaginary friend that he'll talk to from time to time. And he'll get towns constantly wrong. So like, oh, you're supposed to be in Dublin, Germany. I flew to Dublin, Georgia, or somewhere in the United States. Like, whoops, I messed up there. And he'll say the most ridiculous things. Like, he's messed up match stipulations before, too. Like, there's a match that he went to. It's called the Royal Rumble. We don't have to get into all of that. But it's like an elimination style match. So he was in it. He ran to the ring, grabbed a ladder, and climbed up to the top, like thinking he was supposed to grab something. He's like, it's not there. Like he totally messed up the match type. He's hilarious. And then there's another one of my favorite tag teams, DIY. They're like the cocky, snarky bad guys, but they play it up so much. Like, oh, you cheated, you got in our way, and like, oh well, we never do anything wrong. Well, it's always someone else's fault. Like there was a ladder match where one of them, his wife is also a wrestler, and she tried to cheat on their behalf. Another ladder match. So she climbed on top of the ladder. He was holding on to it to support it for her. Someone interfered, hit him. He ended up pushing the ladder. She fell off the ladder and went through another ladder on the outside. And they did some big promo afterwards. He's like, yeah, well, like so-and-so like injured my wife. Look at her. She's all bruised and broken. Like, it wasn't my fault. I didn't push the ladder. It was your fault. So I feel like WWE has a good variety of what they do. But in the grand scheme of things, it is more family orientated. I feel like other companies like AEW, if you want more serious competition or athletics, that's what you're going to gravitate towards, and the audience has certainly made their voice, and that's why they've grown since they've launched. And then it just depends from there, like what you want. Like if you're going to go, I'm completely apologize. I forgot to talk about Mexico. Mexico wrestling is huge down there in Lucha Libre. But like,
Sure,
if you look at them, it's 90% masked wrestlers, and they all have their gimmicks. They all have their characters. Some it's like, yep, we're going to do flippy shit, and we're going to be looking all cool with our moveset. And then there's goofy characters. One that's come into the light more recently because WWE bought one of the companies down there, so they're getting more eyeballs. A guy who's blown up is a guy literally called Mr. Iguana. What's his gimmick, TJ? He's a fucking iguana. He paints his face. He has a bodysuit that's green and black. And he has a stuffed iguana, like a puppet, that he enters the ring with. She'll hang out in the corner, and then he'll grab her at some point, hand puppet, and do wrestling moves with the puppet on. And it's just the most unserious thing ever, but it's hilarious. And yeah, he rocks. So yeah, long story short, more family friendly focused is what WWE is about.
Okay, great. And as someone who's never watched a wrestling match,
Yeah,
if I just like watched a random wrestling match, like let's say they air on like Tuesdays or whatever, and I
right.
tune in on Tuesday, would I be super freaking confused, or would I understand what's going on?
So that is a very good question. Is like, where do you jump in? Because wrestling has no off season. They just go year round. So it's very intimidating. Where do I go? What's this character's history and stuff like that? I feel like WWE in particular, which I'm going to use because that is primarily what I watch. I do watch a lot more AEW in comparison to other companies as well. But I feel like WWE does a good job of bringing in new people. The recaps they have. Oh, this happened last week. This happened 10 minutes ago, in case you forgot. Like, they'll constantly be peppering you with, like, this is what happened. This is what is happening. This is this. I think they do a good job, sometimes overkill it, of recapping you along of what is going on. And the thing with wrestling, while I talked about it before of, like, there's so much depth between these characters or history of these characters that you can feel rewarded for being invested in a long time. For new fans, I don't feel like you have to know that. I feel you can just watch a match, watch a show, see who resonates with you. Is it Rhea Ripley? Is it Stephanie Becker? Is it Austin Theory? Is it Sheamus? Is it whoever? Watch a match. I like their look. I like their entrance. I like their music. Whatever it is that gravitates towards you and like kind of pulls you in, that's like your foot in the door. And then if you, as you watch more and more, oh, I really like Stephanie Becker. What's her story? Oh, okay. So she was initially part of NXT. Cool. She did really good in NXT. She was a double champ in NXT. What was she doing before NXT? Oh, she actually wrestled in a Mexican promotion. She wrestled with AEW. Oh, she did a crossover there. And then it's just boop, 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 boop. You know, like it's available to you if you want it. You don't have to.
Okay.
But I feel like, yeah, there's so many options out there in terms of characters and wrestling. You just got to find something that sticks with you and you really like. And then the world's your oyster. You could go from there and figure out like, oh, yeah, so-and-so does this, that, the other thing. So, yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm glad they have those recaps, even if
Sure.
I'm sure as someone who follows it, it's probably annoying. But
like I said,
for me,
WWE
it'd be
sometimes they
helpful.
overdo it. It's like, dude, it just happened. You don't need to tell me.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So dipping our toes into pro wrestling. Do you have any other questions?
No, I think you did a
For
pretty good
today.
overcap of it. I kind of liked so I kind of like that. I would probably start with WWE if I was to get into wrestling because that
Mhm.
seems like the place to go to start, and
Sure.
then kind of trickle into like AEW or whatever, what have
Sure.
you.
Yeah, there's a lot out there, like I said, in terms of companies. So WWE and AEW are probably the most accessible because of, you know, their status and being the main promotions. But like even like if TikTok's your thing, if Instagram's your thing, just YouTube, like you can look up a bunch of stuff there. Just get your snippets, whatever it is, and then if you decide, yeah, I'm going to try a show, obviously there's a whole plethora of things there. Like, for example, WWE, one of their shows is on Netflix, so I know a lot of people have Netflix. AEW is over on HBO Max. You check those out, past episodes, or not document. Well, some programs have documentaries. Like, if you wanted to learn more about Cena, you could find a Cena documentary, and then you can get a whole blast of, like, this was his career and stuff like that. So yeah, the things are out there if you're interested in it. But yeah, appreciate you hearing me gush about it for a while. I'm sure we'll revisit it, especially with NXT. NXT is one of my, like, I told you how I fell in and out of wrestling. NXT was a big one for me, so maybe we'll talk about that next time. And my my love for NXT then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that information. I learned a lot. So
good. I'm glad. Well, TJ, it's time to wrap up this episode with future games we're looking forward to as we get back into the gaming side of things. What are you looking forward to down the road?
I'm looking forward to this game called The Blood of the Dawnwalker.
Mm.
I don't know if you've heard of this game. It's by a new studio called Rebel Wolves.
Okay.
I think it's called Rebel Wolves. But they're making a dark fantasy open world RPG, which is right up my alley. It is formed, this new studio is formed by a bunch of ex-Witcher 3 devs.
Oh, okay.
And it looks kind of like The Witcher 3. I'm not going to lie. It's like this big open world thing. However, you are a Dawnwalker, so during the day, you are just a normal dude with some weapons. But at night, you turn into, like, you have, like, vampiric powers and stuff.
Ooh.
There's also, like, a timed thing on it where somebody has kidnapped your family. And you have 22 days to rescue your family.
Okay.
So you can't just, like, keep fast forwarding to night to do, like, night events, because there's stuff that happens during the day and there's stuff that happens during the night. But you don't want to just keep fast forwarding to the night events because you will short out your days and you're running out of time to save your family.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems pretty cool, like a mix of, like, Majora's Mask and, like, The Witcher 3 and a bunch of stuff I'm excited for. Vampire the Masquerade and everything. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Nice. Anything else, or is that your one shout for this week?
That is my one shout out. That's the one I'm really excited for. They said they had some gameplay. People got to play it at either PAX West or Gamescom, one of the two.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was very intrigued by that. Looking at it, the graphics are great and everything too. So, like I said, it looks like another Witcher 3 style game. So, if anybody out there you like The Witcher 3, maybe check out The Blood of the Dawnwalker. Even though I know The Witcher 4 is on the horizon at some point, probably 2026, somewhere along there. But
we'll see.
Maybe 2027. But
yeah, I don't know. I feel like I get the fear of, like, oh, we saw it, we're not gonna see it for a while, even though we did have that one gameplay or at least tech demo type thing. So
yeah, it was like pre-rendered, so it wasn't gameplay. It wasn't in-game footage, which made me a little bit wary.
Yep, we can hope. We'll see. I'm gonna give two shout outs. One real quick. Baby Steps is a I don't even know how to describe it. Rage-inducing adventure game. If you guys know the developers of Bennett Foddy, and then, like, God, I don't know, those games that, like, oh, you fall, you're gonna fall real far, Chained Together, I think, was another one. Baby Steps is that. It was supposed to come out initially, I think, next week, or this week as a recording, to consoles, and I never thought this game would click with me, but I played it at Steam Next Fest, whenever the last one was, and yeah, even though, you know, you fall, you lose balance, whatever it is, I had a good time with it. You can kind of get a rhythm with your walking and your footsteps, with this poor lad that you're trying to navigate just to get to a bathroom, and yeah. But yeah, I was like, all right, that could be something goofy to play. I think it got delayed because of our friend Silk Song coming out. It seems like a lot of indies are like, nope, Not dealing with that. So I think it's later in September, but I'm not sure. So I'll have to keep tabs on that. And then I did just want to give a shout out to one that I've been really looking forward to, and it is Hades 2. I know it's out in early access now on Steam. I've been avoiding it like the plague because I'm already sold on it. I don't need to see anything. I don't need to see gameplay characters and all their hotness and nothing. So I'm just looking forward to Hades 2. I think it's still supposed to come out this year, but we haven't had a release date yet. We do know that it's launching, at least console-wise, Switch console exclusive first. Which, if so, alright. You know, I waited long enough for Hades 1 and was also late to the party, so I can wait on Hades 2. But just want more information on it, more defined dates of when this thing is coming out. I think they've still been updating or winding down updates, at least on the early access side of things. So hopefully we hear some news soon. Maybe Game Awards. Granted, that's, 5 months away, 4 months away. Don't want to wait that long, but maybe. And that would also be out of 2025, so maybe not. Just want to give it a shout. Hades 2. Let's kick some more ass.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I still need to play more Hades 1 because I never beat it because it is a hard game.
Yeah, it gets easier with time, but yeah, I get you. They do
it's pretty
also
difficult,
have
but...
they do have that God mode in the options, so that does lighten the load a little bit. If you need it, or if you want it.
I feel like the big problem is I'm playing on Switch.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm playing on a Switch Lite, so the controls are a little cramped for myself.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, I definitely need to dive back into that. I am excited for Hades 2, even though I haven't beaten Hades 1, just because I like all the colors and stuff that they have with the game.
The artwork's great.
Yeah, the artwork is phenomenal. And when Hades 1 came out, I was obsessed with it for a while on the Switch. Back when I had an original Switch and not a Lite, I was obsessed with it for a good while. I think I put like 40, 50 hours into it and still didn't beat it. But I put a lot of time into it. I got really good with the spear. So that was fun. And I like that there are a variety of weapons. So even if you beat the game with like the sword, you're like, oh, I can go beat the game with the shield now or whatever.
Yep. They all have their varieties too. Slight tweaks or move sets that are different if you upgrade them. So yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what they do with Hades 2, if they're going to do a weapon system or what they're going to do. It should be interesting. The studio also has never made a sequel, as far as I know.
Correct.
So it's big of them. I guess Hades popped off so hard that they were like, we have to do a sequel.
Yeah.
But also it is like, when I think of roguelikes, I often think of Hades now because, listen, anytime a roguelike has like a storyline based around how you die, like Absalom I was talking about, I'm like, oh, that's like Hades. So crazy stuff. But yeah, cool. I'm excited for that too.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Well, everybody, this has been another episode of Relatively Gaming. TJ, thanks for hanging out with me today. Appreciate it, good sir.
Yeah, thanks for teaching me about wrestling. I really appreciate
Hopefully, nobody took a nap during that part. Hopefully you picked up on something. Because I'm probably going to revisit it, but I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. I just want more people to talk wrestling, that's all. Speaking of, if you liked what you heard, please make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. It does really mean a lot, even if it seems like a little. And yeah, just like at the beginning of the show, thank you for giving it a try and giving it a listen and hanging out with us talking games. If you guys have any feedback of like, hey, could you put the games you're looking forward to, like maybe put some game footage up or something like that, just let us know in the comment section below and we will take it into consideration. But yeah, everybody, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today, giving us a watch, giving a listen, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.